All right, here we are again in the living room because it's a little too windy outside. So I decided to do this here. But what a big topic today, purpose and the meaning of that and how you achieve that in your life. I was reluctant to even do this video because of how conceptual of a topic it really is. And I'm thinking, how do you break this down into small steps to maybe help other people achieve purpose in their life? And the more I actually sat and thought about it for a while, I actually thought to myself, it's actually very simple. In a lot of ways it is. It's a human quality that we all have, whether or not you're getting ready to go to work in the morning and you're miserable because you hate your job, or you're feeling isolated and lonely because maybe you need purpose to connect with the community, or whatever it is that drives you and you've lost that support, you lost that hobby or that entertaining factor in yourself to get you to feel happy and have an abundant life. That's purpose in so many ways. But what we want to do is, before we get into what I came up with, which is 3 simple ways to really get back on track with that in yourself, is trying to at least define what purpose is for you. What does it mean? Is it riches? Is it wealth? Is it new cars? Is it a better career, success? Or is it inner peace, inner knowing, finding the happiness within to go out every day and have time for your creative pursuits, or just to feel joy inside? Neither one of those is right or wrong either way. We live on a planet of free choice. But to get into these steps, the first thing you have to do is take that time to actually understand, what does it mean to have purpose in your life for you? What is it? And really sit in that knowing of what you believe it to be true before you can actually pursue it. I like to give simple examples. My dad. I think everyone has a certain purpose here, and it doesn't have to be some huge, elaborate, change the world scenario. Someone like my father, I think, was born to come here and just be a great dad. He raised 2 families, worked 10 hours a day for like 40 years of his life, and I don't think I've ever heard him complain about it once. Somebody that you see within your interactions every day that just has a smile on their face and makes you feel good being in their presence. That's purposeful to me. That, or going to YouTube and finding the people that you connect with that you're learning and growing from, and they bring you that. There's purpose in that. So defining purpose is the first step in trying to understand what it can be for you before these 3 steps. So just really take some time with that. Sit with it, breathe, feel it inside, figure out what it is. So, numero uno. What I like to do is, I call it almost a reset if you need this, because we're all so busy with our lives, and how much time do you really spend with yourself? So in that reset, you really want to either practice or set the goal to be within your own self, at least for a few minutes a day. That's where it starts. And if you really don't even have a general understanding really of who you are, I like things like horoscopes, or if you think that that's too woo-woo out there, doesn't make sense, maybe the Chinese zodiac, or another behavioral chart where you could go and put your information in and maybe get a list of, here are your main attributes, here's your strengths, here's your weaknesses. Because we forget sometimes. Maybe we get angry just out of nowhere, or frustrated or irritated, or maybe some of our strengths shine the most when we're doing certain things. So I think the more that you take time in trying to develop your character, because we're all characters in this play, and we all have these strengths and weaknesses. We're humans. But like me, for instance, I'm an Aries. I'm always at the forefront, ready to take on that next challenge. That's me. I feel good by completing tasks, by having a thing that's attainable, not out of reach, but at the same time, I've got to constantly be doing something, moving. But then my weakness is the impatience of that not coming when I expect it to come. So, I'm a fighter, I'm a warrior, but I also need to learn discipline. And it's working within that balance of yourself where you start to be able to find this wholeness we talk about, this purpose, because that's where it all starts, in you and your own self-reflection. That's numero uno, self-reflection, taking the time. Start with that. But that brings us to numero two. This is the fun one. This is the one that I want you to explore and have the most creative output. We remember when we were kids, before we were programmed, before we were taught all the rules and lessons of life and had it forced down and, had to have everything figured out. We would play. We would have fun. We would go out into the yard and find out this magical land of things that they didn't have to make sense. It was the exploration that felt so good. And we did it so naturally. And then we lose it. But we got to get back to that. In this place, number two, this is where, okay, I know a little bit about myself. Now I got to start honing in on what it is I actually want, what it is that I actually desire. What would purpose mean for me? And use your imagination. It's the greatest thing, because you want to be the next big star in a band, or you have a great idea that you want to bring into the forefront in engineering, mathematics, wherever you are in this world. You imagine yourself there, feel it inside of you. This is the manifestation quality, that big word everyone's throwing around, that I'm going to do a video on about it because I have my own opinions of that. But within that engagement of what you can believe yourself to be, that's going to make you free, going to make you happy, going to make you feel like you've succeeded, that's where all the fun is. That's where, if you can really see yourself being what it is that you're feeling in your heart that you really want to do, the more you're valuing and bringing that into your own inner space. And that's what that manifestation does for you. Quick example, my wife's a big dancer. She goes 3 times a week to a Fred Astaire studio. And one of the guys that's joined a year ago said he used to drive by the studio all the time on his way home from work and just have this nudge or this feeling that he needs to go into the studio because he was kind of curious about dancing. But he said he felt awkward, uncomfortable. He was afraid people were going to make fun of him. But he finally took the risk and did it. And he loves it. And it brought so much more into his life, a quality, a joy, something special. And he would have never had it if he wouldn't have taken the chance. So don't want to dwell on it too much, but I just get excited about this part. I'm doing it all the time. I'm an artist, a creator, and in that space within me is where I can just be whatever I want. I can do whatever I want in my head. But the next part, that number 3, the hard part, and I think we all know where I'm going with this, this is where the follow through and the commitment come from. And here's where we all get stuck. Like starting this YouTube channel, I've said it in other videos, I'm a big time introvert. Being in front of this camera, huge step for me to take. I had to go through a lot of inner, my mind messing with me and holding me back and getting around that and just putting myself out there. And it's the same with you, whether somebody's telling you, or your mind's telling you you're not pretty enough, you're not worthy enough. They're all gonna laugh at you. Whatever it is, they're mind games. They're spinning in your head, and you've got to take control of that. You've got to take a chance, take the risk. And that's where you start to feel your power. You start to understand even more about yourself. So you had the 3s. You had a self-identity exchange within yourself, where you kind of figure out who you are. Then you kind of daydream about what your purpose is, what would make you happy, and then you got to follow through with it. This is the part where it brings it all together. That's that whole 3-way connection. Wow, I froze on camera. But the real conclusion here is don't be too hard on yourself. You know, I did a video not too long ago. My day-to-day job, I'm a construction worker. And it's funny to me because this is what I think about all day long. How to help you, how to help myself, spirituality, all these larger concepts. But, you know, I'm banging a hammer around at work. And it's okay. This is how we all have a place in this world. And it's not so much where you are, it's how you feel about the environment and the place that you are within yourself. To me, that's true purpose. In any way that I can help you to understand that and grow that within yourself is why I'm here doing this. It all starts with you. Everything starts with you. So, last few words, I just highly advocate set aside time for yourself. You deserve it. You deserve to know who you are. You deserve to have that quality time, even if it is just to dream a little bit. But in those moments when you're having that time and you see these things come into your mind, they're aspirations and they're indicators of maybe which way you need to go, which door you need to open. The trials and tribulations of life. I mean, everyone has something to give. Everyone has something that makes them feel great. And I think you all have that. Embrace it. Go through this journey and search for what that is. It could be the simplest hobby that makes you feel good, or it can be you could be the next successful president of the United States. Anyway, I hope the 1, 2, 3 helps just a little bit. I ramble quite a bit, but love and light to all you guys. I love you so much, and send something in the comments. If you think that I'm wrong, you think I'm right, you have something to add. I want this to be somewhat of a community-based for all of us to share, because I'm only one person. The more the people that have opinions and can comment, the better. You're not just supporting me, you're supporting everybody else that will ever see this. So, peace, guys.